MJF was in the back and called Officer Bar Brady a stupid old man. And I didn't think he was that old. And then he paid off, MJF did, not Bar Brady, Jake the Snake Roberts, who came in sweating like a whore in church in this obviously air-conditioned building when everybody else is cool, calm, and collected. It looked like everybody turned a bucket of water over Jake's head. And he did a promo that never mentioned his man that he manages or what the fuck he was coming in and taking money to do. And then in the last 15 seconds, Archer just jumped in and swatted the envelope of money, said, I don't want the money, I just want to beat somebody up. And therein lies the problem with a great wrestling promo trying to become a manager. He has no idea how to talk about other people and get other people over. And we all are a little less mentally nimble than we were when we were younger. Jake still can tell these dark and sinister stories with his promos, but sometimes it sounds like he starts in the middle and you lost something at the beginning, or sometimes it sounds like he left the end off, and he never talks about the guy he's managing. So that's what I thought about this. MJF was great. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was good to see Jake looking healthy.
God damn.
The fuck he came out there. I've never seen anyone sweat like that.
It looked like he was sweating like Elmer's glue or something. It was just...
That may be what's in his hair, his fake hair. Who knows? Lance Archer, I'm trying to think back. He was with Jake, and then he was with Lambert, wasn't he? Yes. He joined Lambert's group.
Well, he was with Jake, and he gave Lambert the big razor's edge. And then he joined Lambert. And then he hurt himself. And then he came back and lost a Texas death match that in the first match of his big feud with the world champion was also the last match. And now he's taking payoffs to fuck up Wardlow.
By the time they get Wardlow to MJF, you assume, that match, you have Wardlow versus MJF, who, is an average-sized wrestler. Does it make sense to you that Wardlow would be going through bigger wrestlers each week and maybe being overexposed? Possibly? Because, again, the Butcher was this week. Butcher's a bigger guy. He's one of the bigger guys on the roster. Archer's much taller than Wardlow. Do you think it makes sense to have him against all these big guys, or should it be a different direction?
All right, since we don't know exactly where we are in the timeline of this, we're just guessing. But my thought is what's been working has been working. Have Wardlow powerbomb the small guy 4 times and stand on his chest every week, sweetening it up with the security and these other little tricks of the trade or whatever. And somewhere right before you're going to pull the trigger on the match that everybody wants to see, Wardlow versus MJF, which better be on a pay-per-view, then MJF pulls an ace out of his sleeve and has not necessarily a bigger wrestler, but a more top wrestler, a more main event guy, a better recognized wrestler, regardless of his size, somebody that people can buy, but also an experienced guy that's not going to botch spots with Wardlow because he's green and is going to be able to put Wardlow over as a dominant monster force while still keeping his cachet in the industry, whoever's doing the job, because he's an experienced veteran. And maybe you do that. Maybe you save the actual not only top guy, but bigger guy or guy that's as big as Wardlow for his final hurdle, his final labor that he has to surpass to get to MJF. And then maybe it's a little competitive, but still Wardlow, you keep him unbeaten and you keep his momentum going. I don't think you just put job guys in and give them 4 or 5 minutes so they can be competitive for a couple minutes just because the guy's the same size as Wardlow. Just no, keep him with little guys that are flunkies and then feed him a fucking more recognized talent that you can afford to have do a job in a high-profile situation, and then maybe give him the big beast that he has to slay, the dragon, right before he gets to the fucking evil wizard or whatever.
And at some point he destroys Spears.
Well, yes. And that, that could not even be a match. That can be just an incident, whatever the case.